All right, let me get your take real quick on Jill Biden's right-hand man, Anthony Bernal, refusing to testify before the House Oversight Committee today. He initially agreed that he would testify, but now Chairman James Comer is being forced to send him a subpoena. Former Biden aide Neera Tanden did testify. She had her hands on everything, according to sources, and a source confirmed to Fox that she was authorized to direct Biden's Autopen signatures on documents, including pardons, memos, executive orders, though she was unsure who gave the final approval. Senator, you led the first full committee hearing on the cover-up of Biden's mental decline. This is important. People want to understand how all these crazy things happened in the last 4 years and who is calling the shots for things like a wide-open border.
Yeah, well, I can't tell you how many times people in Missouri have asked me, who is running the country? Who is actually in charge? Like, it's kind of an important thing in our constitutional republic, like who's making the decisions as president of the United States. Look at what happened in the last week in this country. You have to have a president like President Trump who's in full command of the office, makes clear decisions. That did not happen for almost probably the full 4 years of Joe Biden's reign, right? So who was? The truth is, you probably had a series of, women's study majors from Ivy League institutions who used to write white papers about open borders are now suddenly in charge of opening the border. So wow. This is a bigger scandal than Watergate. We need to continue to drill down on it. We're going to be subpoenaing or getting documents from the archivist to see if there were actually authorizations for the Autopen. Has big consequences. I know James Comer's working hard too.
All right, Senator. Great. We'll catch up soon. Thanks so much, Eric Schmidt.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. When you try to, we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
You know, we all do good talking. Somebody knows this. The evidence here. They find this out. This happened. I just want accountability. Hands behind your back. Happy weekend, everybody. What's going on, family? Hope y'all are having a blessed weekend. That you're getting ready for an amazing week. It's been an amazing week for President Trump. They're even saying probably one of Trump's best weeks of his presidency this past week. Big wins, major wins, even from the Supreme Court and all the decision making that has taken place this past week. Whew. And now we have the big, beautiful bill coming up. We're seeing how this deadline and this push before July 4th. So we'll see what we're going to bring updates, you guys. But we told you we'll be diving more deep into this scandal, the biggest scandal in American history, the Autopen. Who was running the country? They plugged the machine up into the wall and just let it go away, sign away, doo-doo stains on the carpet. Ice cream stains, the floor is sticky, the countertops are sticky. It's crack cocaine all on the dresser, all in the media room. Somebody in there laughing. Who is there in there laughing? What that lady in there laughing at? I was the last one in the room. Can't reach out to the grieving families. People's lives destroyed, devastated. I was the last one in the room. It's wide open. She didn't know she was assigned to be there. Didn't know who the borders was. Didn't know who was running the country. Dr. Jill has taken over the cabinet meeting. You did such a great job, Joe. You answered every last question. Oh, Joe. Every last one. Joe. Oh my gosh, Joe. Put that heifer in handcuffs. Hands behind your back, doctor. Elderly abuse. They should have put that heifer in handcuffs. That should be the first one they put in handcuffs. And then we just go down the line. People need pardons. The whole family need pardons. He in there begging for a pardon. Doctor in there begging. Mass murderer. Pencil neck. Everybody. Can't beat your opponent fair and square. We just seen the biggest political comeback in history. And we just keep winning. We were this close, y'all. This close. And we just keep winning. It's been one hell of a week for President Trump in this second term. And we got to continue to end this bad boy off with a bang. Happy Sunday. I know y'all getting ready for 4th of July. Don't blow it up now. I know a lot of them pages go down there and just blow it up. Don't blow it up now. All right. A lot of y'all don't got them insurance policies. You better not do it now. You better not blow that backyard up now. You know you don't got that. You didn't get the full coverage. It only covered half of the square footage. I know what y'all signed up for. You better not blow it up, but y'all have a good time, man. Enjoy it. It's coming this Friday, and like I say, life is quick, man. We live in a very, very fast time travel, so y'all enjoy yourself, man. Take some time out, spend time with your loved ones, take care of yourself, you know. But let's get into all this on the show today. You know, I tell you, you just can't. But we do a lot of good talking, man. But I'm ready for action. I'm ready for somebody to be walked out in handcuffs. I ain't lying to you. You see the committee, the hearings, Democrats don't even want to show up. It's so bad that they don't even want to show up. Whistleblowers everywhere. You know, I tell you, man, you just can't make this up.
White House said the Biden aides cannot invoke executive privilege. Jill Biden's top aide, Anthony Bernal, refused to testify. Now he's subpoenaed. Let's welcome back to the show House Oversight member, South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman, thanks for coming on. It's always wonderful to see you. So you were not in the hearing yesterday with Neera Tanden, but tell us what is going on here. Why are they running away?
Well, I can confirm what Chairman Comer has stated because I talked to him privately yesterday after that deposition, at that hearing with Neera Tanden. That is that she was largely in the dark, didn't know who was making decisions. And that's the million-dollar question here is when Joe Biden was president, who was in charge. He also confirmed with me yesterday that Anthony Bernal would not be appearing and would have to be subpoenaed in order to testify. And that has happened. And that is also truthful in what I was told yesterday by Chairman Comer.
So no executive privilege means that they would have to testify about the conversations they had inside the White House that could expose that, yes, they knew all along Joe Biden was in serious cognitive decline. And now James Comer is accusing Bernal of obstruction. We aren't seeing any comments from Bernal on this so far. Obstruction, what do you think?
Well, I think everything's on the table. I think that the American people have a right to know who is making decisions, and the person operating the Autopen near
the American people want to see handcuffs. The American people want to see somebody walked out. American people want accountability. Somebody to be held accountable. Yeah. We want to know all that other stuff too, but the main thing we want to see is that breaking news of somebody being walked out. You know. Even if y'all got to roll Joe down there in that wheelchair, we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. Y'all even got to roll him down there and sit him in the interrogation room. We'll take that. Yeah. Even if y'all got to roll granddaddy down there to the interrogation room, I'll take it.
Tanden didn't have that insight, then who was telling her what to do? None of it adds up from my perspective, just from a common sense perspective. And the American people deserve to know who was actually in charge, who was really the president when Joe Biden was unconscious in the White House.
Yeah, so that's the question. Who was really calling the shots inside the Biden White House amid his obvious decline? So Biden aide Neera Tanden.
I really do feel bad, man. I really do feel bad seeing how they replay these clips when they be talking of how bad it was and just showing the man's decline on camera. And they come out and tell everybody, it's a cheap fake, a deep fake. The lady with his press secretary said it's a cheap fake, a deep fake too as well. What you're seeing is AI edited. She come out there with that big old binder. And now she trying to make profit and came out with a book and called it, and she's an independent now. She leaves the party after lying to the American people damn near every single day. She leaves the Democrat Party. She detaches herself from this administration after lying. I tell you, what a disgrace it's been, man. They ought to walk that heifer out in handcuffs too. You know, I'm black and I have a vagina. I'm lesbian. I tell you, and I didn't mean to say that, y'all, but these people here, man, I tell you, everybody stay woke. We don't care if you're black, ma'am. We don't care if you have a vagina. We don't care if you like vagina. We don't care. Are you qualified? And God dog it, you're not qualified. And God dog it, you lied. Not qualified and lied. There ought to be handcuffs.
Did testify she controlled Biden's RoboPen signatures on policies, pardons, and executive actions for, we're hearing 2 years, 2021 to 2023, but she was getting her marching orders and all that from Biden's inner circle without knowing whether Joe Biden actually authorized this. Now she's saying that's not so. But this sounds like this was not a constitutional U.S. presidency. Who in the president's inner circle was giving near attendant final clearance to use a RoboPen?
That is the million-dollar question. I've spoken with Chairman Comer, the chairman of Oversight. We will subpoena everyone that needs to be subpoenaed to get to the answer, to get the American people the answers they need and the answers that they deserve, so this just doesn't not happen again in the future.
All right.
They turned district courts into the imperial judiciary. To put this in perspective, there are 94 federal judicial districts. 5 of those districts throughout this country held 35 of the nationwide injunctions. Think about that. 94 districts and 35 out of the 40 opinions with nationwide injunctions came from 5 liberal districts in this country. No longer. No longer.
All right, no longer is right. Supreme Court ends the abuse of these imperial judicial supremacy injunctions. Joining us to talk about it, Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt. Senator Schmitt, former Attorney General of Missouri, now a senator. This is a hell of a decision. And really, will it stop the activist judges from ruining President Trump's agenda?
Yeah, this is a huge win, not only for President Trump, but the rule of law and the separation of powers. I mean, it works a bunch of different ways, right? The court is a check on the legislative branch, but this was really the court's check on the judicial branch by saying a single district court judge can't have these nationwide injunctions in direct national policy like these rogue liberal activist judges have had. And as Pam Bondi just said, in a really limited number of district courts. And so this is huge. I think when this was being argued by the Solicitor General, John Sauer, who was actually my former Solicitor General in Missouri, this point was being made in oral argument. So if you read the tea leaves, this was the real opportunity to rein this in. And I think the court did the right thing here. The 6 conservative justices, I think, really showed that they're serious about the separation of powers and reining in these rogue judges.
So that's going to be, that opens the door. My other point is, I mean, I'm not the lawyer to, bossing back. It is meaning of this, isn't it?
That's right, and you kind of zoom out a little bit, Larry. It's really going to matter. I mean, I'll be handling the rescissions package in the Senate once we get past the reconciliation, the big, beautiful bill. So you've got just that with mass deportation. So in that big, beautiful bill, you've got money for ICE agents, more detention beds, and judges. You're going to now see him be able to execute on that agenda, and you're not going to have some rogue district court judge stop all the deportations in the country like they were trying to do.
Big wins.
You've been working on, can you get your paws on these Autopen archives and these Autopen data? I know you're hot on the trail. I've been reading about it. It's probably a noble cause. It would be certainly revealing to the American people if you could. Where's all this stand, Senator Schmitt?
Well, and having co-chaired the committee hearing just a week ago, the more you learn about what was going on, or maybe what we don't really know what was going on inside the Oval Office, this really is a scandal bigger than Watergate. I mean, the idea that you would have a president not in his full capacity, and you've got, of course, whistleblowers who've come forward saying he couldn't find his way to the bathroom. Who was actually in charge of the country? Like, this is kind of an important question in our constitutional republic. Like, we just saw the command and control President Trump had of the office going back to last Saturday with those incredible B-2 airstrike, to the decisions he's making, all the trade deals, all the things that happen inside that Oval Office. Who was actually in charge? It's probably a small group of left-wing radicals that opened up our borders and, caused all the damage that we're trying to fix now. now, but we don't really know for sure. We ought to find out. So we actually issued from that hearing a special access request to the archivist, because when they use that Autopen, Larry, there's supposed to be a record of that authorization. And so this is, I think, again, you go further and further down this trail to figure out what actually happened. And more importantly than that, sometimes I think it's important to look at this as we can never let this happen again, right? We dealt with this 100 years ago with Woodrow Wilson. There was concern when JFK was assassinated, which is why the 25th Amendment came about. What do you do when a president's incapacitated? We may need to look at some additional solutions to, again, as guardrails, because you can't have a faceless apparatus in charge of the country. It's the only office where everybody in the country elects one person to make important decisions, and what happens when that one person isn't in full in charge and able to do his job? We ought to take a serious look at that.
Well, I agree. I mean, so when will you know? The archivist, by the way, who's the archivist?
It's Marco Rubio right now.
Right.
I saw Secretary Rubio in the classified briefing on Iran and told him I got a letter coming your way in your capacity as archivist. So
did he know? Did he know he was archivist?
Oh, he does. Yeah, he's aware.
Okay.
He laughed about that. But so hopefully we get to the bottom of what was going on with President Autopen.
Yeah. And hopefully we see handcuffs, accountability, hands behind your back.